is Tupac. You know, I never went to try to match no other artists, and that was something he wanted. And that was something I was proud to do, you know, because it wasn't for the money, it wasn't for trying to be famous, but for me letting him know, I love what you're doing, I'm gonna give you my all to make sure you can continue to do what you're doing.
So many people want to blame this on this East Coast, West Coast rivalry. What do you say about that?
You can't say it's an East Coast, West Coast rivalry, number one. And Tupac will live forever. It's not a day that go by that in music, when music come on, that people won't think of Tupac. It's not movies or nothing. I like to see, and we'll see Tupac be the legend that he is. We all learn from this. I mean, I often say that we learned how strong black women is. I mean, that's been in my head lately a lot.
Why do you say that?
Because the mothers of death row were stronger than all of us. When this happened, the mothers was calling Tupac's mother, praying with her, coming to see her, talk to her. I'm talking about all the mothers on death row with their sons or daughters on the label. And they showed more heart than any of us. You know, they was like standing up, we're gonna pray, he's gonna be okay. And when he wasn't okay, you know, they got holidays. I mean, if we can't get a holiday around the world, at least we can get one in my neighborhood for Tupac. I mean, we'll just, you know, we'll celebrate, you know, his birthday every year with a block party. We'll block off the whole street. We'll party and we'll celebrate Tupac, because that's a place in our heart that can't be replaced. And one of the things that's really important that people want to question his credibility as an artist. Won't no artist, no rapper period, ever sell the type of records Tupac sold and will sell. And the ones who feel or felt that they was more talented than Tupac or better than Tupac, put out a double CD. They won't do it. The record company probably won't allow them to. The artists probably don't have the heart to. Because when I went to Tupac and said, we got all these songs, let's do a double CD. Tupac like, if you with it, I'm with it, let's do it. So, couldn't no other artists do that. They couldn't pull it off, no matter what other rapper out there. If they put out a double CD, their shit would flop. Tupac put out a double CD and sold 6 million records and continued to sell. And he was the most hardest worker and the best worker I ever seen in the studio in my whole entire life. He go in there and do one takes. He don't have to punch in. He don't have to write his rap over it. He just make it happen. He just do what he do, and he did it, and it proves that he does it better than anybody.
George, please allow me 2 more.
Okay.
Future of Death Row and the new album.
Yes, right. We want to talk about all our music. We have 6.
Yeah. Tell me about, I understand Tupac has a new album coming out. Tell me about that one.
It's called Machiavelli. And with Phil, and he did just that.
Why Machiavelli?
Machiavelli?
Machiavelli. Why Machiavelli?
We have nicknames. And Tupac called himself, and we call Tupac Machiavelli. Tupac and my people called me Simon, and that was our thing. You know, Tupac never was like, he would never call me and be like, Suge, what you doing? He'd be like, Simon, what's up? Let's do it. I'd be like, Machiavelli, what's up? And Machiavelli was one of the greatest generals or war guys around. If you know the history of it, if you pick up the book, Tupac was very, very militant.
Talk to me a little bit about what's the future of Death Row now, in light of Dre's departure and now Tupac's untimely death.
not saying anything, you know, for trying to put Dre down as a person. Dre's departure wasn't a loss. 2 reasons. I mean, one of the reasons, it was the greatest thing in the world for me. I mean, if you have a multi-million-dollar company, maybe worth $1 billion or so, and you own it 100% and don't have a partner, and you didn't have to give him nothing but his walking papers, that's great.
Wow.
So that wasn't a negative. And Das and all the other little producers and Assassin, and all the ones we have, and they did the tracks. Dre wasn't doing the tracks, and Dre didn't write the lyrics, so that wasn't a loss. I mean, Dre didn't do California Love, basically. So that wasn't a loss at all. Tupac is a loss, not for saying Death Row success, for it's our heart, you know. But Tupac taught every artist something before he left. So Death Row is gonna be even more successful. We're gonna sell more records this year than people could never dream of. And what Tupac's gift was to artists on Death Row, work habits. He would go in and make songs like this. And you had people around the studio saying, man, we gotta get like Pac. Pac just go in there, kick him in, kick him out, kick him in, kick him out. And that's all they talk about. And exactly what they're doing. And the people was working so great. I mean, you got Danny Boy, who's an R&B guy who...
Oh, he's great.
Probably the greatest R&B guy in the world. He really looked up to Tupac. Mm-hmm. You got Miss Chalet, whose album done, who is great. You got Rage. You got The Dogfather, which is Snoop's album. The Dog Pound got a new album. I'ma say it, but I don't like saying it because a lot of people get on this bandwagon about how they gonna do rock and jazz and R&B, and I always like to show people what we're gonna do, because I always feel demonstration is better than conversation. But all the stuff that people talking about, we got done, will be released. And Death Row will definitely sell more records. We probably sell anywhere from 20 to 40, 50 million records this year. And that's saying a lot, so.
So Death Row's gonna survive?
Oh, Death Row is, see, it's 2 things you gotta understand. A lot of people care about the Hollywood and stuff. A lot of people care about the fame. Death Row has the people. Without the people, you're nothing. It's people all over the world, and I got a lot of love for anybody who's listening, that called in concerned for Tupac, for myself, for Death Row. And they was like, what could we do? We on our way. We there, we'll drive, we'll fly, we there, you know. So we got the support of the people. The people is more powerful than anything. Even if it's the president, you gotta, the people gotta vote. So if you have all the people, naturally you're gonna be the person in charge. I mean, God won't let Death Row fail. The people won't let Death Row fail. So Death Row, and much as Death Row meant to Tupac, I wouldn't even let it fail. Outlaws, one of his artists, the Outlaws, which they great. I mean, the young guys, the little homies, I love them like I love Pac. They're part of Pac, because Pac really spent a lot of time with them and groomed them. And you know, we got Storm, we got a lot of artists on this label that I gotta make sure his label survive. One of the last things Pac gave me was his medallion, who was an ambulance, and they was cutting his shirt off to work on him. And Pac said, hold up, wait, Simon, keep my chain for me. He was like, I got too many diamonds, you know how Pac is. I got too many diamonds on his chain for letting one of these ambulance or one of these doctor people steal my chain. Keep it for me. And he said that, and I was on one bed, he was on the other, and we was going this way. I was like, you all right, homie? He was like, all right, homie, I love you. I was like, shit, love you too, fool. You better get better, you know. That's the relationship we had. And for is any negative people out there to be negative towards Tupac is you call yourself just shitting on the whole black race, because he stood up for the blackness. He stood up for the, you know, power. Not only did he stand up for the blackness, separate Tupac from a lot of black movement people. Mm-hmm. He wasn't racist. You know, he wasn't the type to say, you know, it's all about black, forget the whites. He wasn't that type. He respected white people and he loved white people. But he knew that we struggled so long as blacks that we had to keep on and work harder. You know, for us, the blacks, we needed more help. And that's what he gave. And he would give his life for that. He gave his life for that. That makes him a legend. That makes him real, real deep. I know that people speak on talent. People speak on death row. And Pac took death row so serious. He came to me and said, "Did you see Dr. Dre? That's not smart." He said, "Dre put out a record. East Coast Killer, West Coast Killer, which the record been out about 2 months now. It's not on the charts. You don't hear it on the radio station. The video is definitely not #1 on BET." And he says, that's a, you know, it'd be like, okay, you make good songs, it's cool. But Pac was the type that 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, if we ain't together, he finna get a hold of me, or vice versa. "What you doing? I know you ain't sleep. Let's get up right now, let's go in.
But what was it
Come to
about
my
him?
house, let's go to my house."
What was it about him?
It's really hard to describe, you know. It was joy. You know, you can have everybody go through it. You can have a long day at the office, a long day at the studio, whatever the case may be, and you like drained, might be pissed off. He finna hit you, call you on your phone, and make you laugh. You know what I'm saying? Be like, "Let's go do this. Come on." You might tell him, "Well, I'm going home." He'd be like, "Well, I'm on my way." "Which house you going to?" Because he knew the houses, and I never thought about this till you just asked that question. Like, he had access to my houses and I had access to his. I mean, he had keys to my house. You might go there one day and open the door, he already there parlaying, you know, saying, "Hey, what's up?" So it was, you know, it was like that.
Suge, you must have a heavy heart.
I mean, to have a dream taken away is a real disappointment to any person. You know, that's the most important thing to me. It's like, you know, you go through life and you got a lot of money, you got the material things, you know, you got your family, you got your business, and, you know, you love the people that work for you. You love your artists. And, you know, you feel it's complete, but there's something you missing. You know, some people say, "Okay, I made it. I made money now. I'm considered rich now. I'm successful now." But there's something missing. And all of a sudden, a person like Tupac walks in your life, and you're like, "Well, hey, that's what I was missing." You know, so it's real personal. It's real important. It's real important.
What's the last 10 days been like for you?
I don't even know if it's been 10 days. The last 10 days been real spiritual for me. You know, because you go to the point where you want to be with the people you love, but you want to spend some time by yourself. Me, Cigar, Pac, you know, and you often have it go into a thought of, you know, of talking to God. And, you know, when I call myself speaking to God or asking questions saying, well, why he's gone, you gotta also thank him at the same time. I mean, it could have been a part of my life that I never ever got to experience. It could have been, he could have never got into my life. I mean, when he called me and I went to go visit him in jail, he could have passed in jail before we had the opportunity to do all the stuff we did. To me, if it was 11 months, it seemed like 50 years. Because, I mean, it's like, it was non-stop. It was, first time I ever been to a hockey game, I took him, which we was on the ice. The first time Pac ever went to a fight in his whole entire life. The first fight we went to was the Holyfield and the Riddick Bowe. And I think we had more fun hitting each other, shaking each other, laughing, and people probably had more fun watching us than the fight. So it was an honor to me to be able to have a little brother like that, to show him stuff that I didn't have nobody to show me. You know,
he was more than an artist.
Definitely more than an artist. I mean, you know, if you lose an artist, you're like, okay, you feel it, and you say, well, you know, the artist is no longer here, I lost the artist. And you think about business. When you lose a best friend or a little brother, that's something you can't replace. Can't nobody walk up to me and say, you know what, I'm gonna take Tupac's place. I tell them they out their mind, you know, you can't take Tupac's place, you know, Pac is Pac. Force that space in my heart that I have for Pac can't be replaced.
I don't think people knew that.
What I liked about him is that our relationship, we didn't do our relationship for the people. We didn't go and say, look, we at the fight. Look, we're at this club, or we doing this. Mm-hmm. We did it for me and him. We would go in there and have fun, and we was real deep on a lot of stuff. I mean, real deep. We was at the point where we used to have conversations. And I'd say, you know what? I work hard at what I do. You work hard at what you do. We're a perfect team. And if something happened to go wrong and I'm not there, you know, you got to pick up the pace and make it happen. Tupac to me was insurance for me. What I mean by that, because the people at Death Row, the community, and fans depend on me to make sure records good, or toys be given away on Christmas, and turkeys on Thanksgiving, and open the door for other entrepreneurs, especially black. One thing you got to realize is we black men, so our job is try to open doors for other black people. Mm-hmm. And I felt that, well, you know, something can happen to me. Anything, you never know. And I used to tell him, I felt good about it. I said, look, if something go wrong, you got to step up to bat. You got to run this company. You got to do this. You got to be there. And he used to be like, well, you've been doing a great job, and that's how he is. He was like, type of like, I'll do it. I won't let you down. You know, he was, I don't know if I'm doing it, but I'll make it happen. And he was.
But did you ever think it would happen the other way around?
No, you know, never thought that.
You say you've been very spiritual the last 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share some of your thoughts?
There's no negative thoughts. It's just thoughts that you thank God for that person in your life. You wonder why that person, you know, is out your life. And, you know, when a person hurt, you say stuff like, God, if he'll be all right, you can have the money, you can have the cars, you can have whatever, the material things, you can have my business. You know, I'm willing to start all over and be homeless for him to be okay. I would, you know, give up anything. It got so deep to a point where you would give your life. And I would have gave my life. I mean, if If I could have walked in and somebody said, you know what, you got one choice, you switch places, I would have did it.
You would have taken those bullets.
Yeah, of course I would have taken the bullets. That's why I don't understand a black person. I can't see how a black person have a negative towards Tupac or negative towards Death Row, because if Pac didn't make it for us being successful, that closed a lot of doors in other black artists' face.
Right.
If Death Row doesn't survive, that closed doors in a lot of other black companies who try to make it. I'm talking about the real black companies that own their own, not the ones who it's a Trojan horse where they don't make the decisions, they don't call the shots, and they don't write the checks. That's different.
Let me ask you something. You were hit as well in that car.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing okay today? I can see your injury.
I got a bullet still in my head.
The bullet's still in your head?
Yes. The doctor told me that they did brain scans, all kind of stuff, and it went in and cracked my cranium, and it stayed there. They said there'd be more chances for damage to try to take it out than sew it up. I was hit there, I was grazed some other places.
And you guys were laughing?
We had conversations and jokes after all this took place. And I think that kept him there, and it definitely kept me there, because when you got two people as tight as we are, and it's concerned, see, my thoughts wasn't, is Suge okay? My thoughts was, is Pac okay? And for the conversation he told me, is his thoughts when it was Pac okay, it was I okay. Because he keep telling me, I don't want to need to get to the doctor. So that's real, real deep, that I don't think it's probably too many people around would do that type of stuff.
Suge, do you wonder how you were able to survive and why you survived? It's like you said, most people get hit in the head.
I think God was ready for me to stay here. It wasn't my time to leave. I guess there's a whole bunch of good I have to do before it's time for me to go. Maybe Pac did more good to me. Maybe Pac's job was done. Maybe I felt Pac was sent to us. He wasn't like brought to us. I felt that God sent Pac to the earth to do certain things, and he done them. And he represented us, not only me, I mean people in general. And he probably did so much good and made so many things happen that it was time for him to make better things happen in heaven. And for me, maybe I got a lot of more stuff to do. I mean, I don't know, I'm not God, I'm not trying to be God. In a way, when you have pain in your heart, you feel like, shit, let me go with my homie. And then we lose. But by me still being here, Pac's gonna live forever. Because I'm gonna see to that, I'm gonna fulfill every wish, every dream that he wanted to happen, that he wanted to see happen before he left here. And I know Pac's mother is the greatest woman in the world, which I call her my mother, and he called my mama his mother, and we do often, brotherly things and see who gonna do something for them better than the other. We compete like that. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a long life ahead of me, a long road, because it's not gonna be a day that I don't think about him. It's not gonna be a day I don't miss him. So I put his name on my body, on my arm, which is, say Tupac.
Which one?
The left one.
The left one. Show it to us later?
Yeah.
All right. How do you think, let me change gears here. I know I can't ask you much about what happened. Let me see if I can ask you this. Why do you think whoever it was unloaded on you guys like that? Why would somebody just haul off an ambush?
You gotta realize something. You got two powerful, positive black men. And anytime you're doing a lot of good, people want to bring the good down always. Always. And you never know. You never know what the person's motive was. You never, I know whoever it is, they're regretting it.
Why do you say that?
The conscious, the unknown. I think it was just confusing for the world to see Pac go that way. I know a lot of people try to, I don't know Vanessa Williams, but I heard they interviewed her. I don't know if it was you, the news, and she stated that they asked her how did she feel about Tupac, the incident, and she said you reap what you sow. And to me, for a woman to say something like that, a black woman who the black community stood by her when she was Miss America and she was known as a hoe and had nude pictures everywhere, we didn't turn our back on her.
Right.
We still bought our records. We bought our records to make her get back in the game and allow her to get back into being an actress. And that's real negative. Even though if it might be facts, we don't go and say nothing negative about her and say, okay, bam, she having sex with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which the world knows. You know what I'm saying? There's no puzzle. And we don't say nothing like that because we always be so positive. And he did his facts and found out it was true.
I imagine you'd have to say that to put it in some music too.
Huh?
I imagine you'd have to know to put it in some music.
You have to know. I mean,
Yeah.
Pac wouldn't attack anybody who was real. Like I said, Pac was a man with a lot of respect. He had did on Machiavelli album, he talks about Nas. It's sort of bad. So at the MTV Awards, he met Nas. And he went to him. So you got a problem with me? That was Pac. Mine said, whoa, I want no problem. We can be cool. They had a conversation. I went over there. They shook, they hugged. They said we could do things in the future together. We could make a difference. So on the way back home, Pac said, when we get to the studio, all the negative stuff I said about Nas, I'm going to take him out and put somebody else in who deserved that. But I'm not going to say anything negative about Nas because I broke bread with him. And I gave him my word that we was friends. I mean, so we can't change the stuff now because Pac not here to do it. So it got to be left in there. So Nas need to know that Pac was definitely finna change for him so he could take it one way or the other, But, at least the guy was a man enough to was going to do it.
Tape change, please.
All right.